Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This will probably be a quick video because I don't know how long this game is going to be up before the content that I'm trying to record is gone. So I'm trying to be as quickly as possible with getting this video done. This video is all about counters. Yes, counters for the Canadian difficulty, the final one, Glorious and Free. Glorious of 3 already has a bit of scuffness to it, and I don't know by the time of this video coming out, and you've probably seen my previous video about the fact that the Guardian fight doesn't actually work as intended. Now, I know a lot of people have said, oh, use this champion, and this champion. Well, it's not always the case. If you want to send certain champions in that suppress things like certain buffs, which it's meant to be a case, if you take your Doctor Doom, if you take your nullifying champs, your staggering champs against this particular champion, that you're going to find that armor up buff is going to be there with ×6, and a lot of the times you're finding it very difficult to suppress and it keeps on popping back up. I don't know why, but it's just something that's quite broken at the moment. There is an active forum post if you saw yesterday's video about this, and we're all hoping that this will be sorted out pronto. Now let's talk about effective counters. Now let's face it, a lot of you will probably be using 4 stars, 5 stars, and obviously if you are Now let's talk about Countess Delaine, starting off with Disstrack and Buffet. Now if you've seen previous versions of these guides and things that I've done, well, we've probably covered this before. In any case, if we haven't, Disstrack. So with this one, it's a case you'll need to get 3 debuffs. They can be all the same, like 3 times Incinerates, 3 times Shock, 3 times whatever. The fact is there's some really good options and counters for this. When it comes to the likes of Human Torch, that's something I need to mention right now. So Daniel puts a good point here saying about the Human Torch usage. Nova Flames are not debuffs. He used Human Torch for that lane. Just have to make sure he doesn't go Nova and save the pre-fight in case Sasquatch drops in. And Sasquatch being a key thing to look out for. I use Archangel all the time against Sasquatch. It seems to be an effective counter. I know players have used Cap Infinity War and so many others as well. Okay, now back to the lanes. Now, I would say use Archangel. That's a good option. Not so much, because you've got the likes of a Bleed Immune champ with Man Thing. You've got, well, Black Widow Clairvoyant, which is annoying. And you've got Jane Foster Thor. You've also got Mojo, which you can use Archangel for. Archangel can double up, as we said, usage against Sasquatch. Now, for a lot of this, because a lot of these aren't shock immune, I ended up using Doctor Doom, but there are some other options. You can see in the top left-hand corner, MODOK is a champion I tried out. That was alright. That was a pretty good champion if you time it really well, and you do like a dexterity, which does pick up a buff and does obviously trigger off the buffet. Can be quite nice to then throw off the SP1 if you time it really well, and just see like a really kind of like good interaction. But yeah, like it is, it's still kind of like effective counters for this. You can also, and I would recommend this, using Nebula and Proxima kind of smushed together. You can do a huge amount of debuff damage from that shock damage. So a real burst of damage each and every time you go into battle could be an effective option. And not to mention, there's also Black Widow Clairvoyant, who can spam in some debuffs very quickly, like bleed, poisons, incinerates, etc. So yeah, there's a lot of decent options for this. So Nick Fury can be an option as well against those that are bleedable, but there's not many that are bleedable in this particular section here. Now into the top right hand corner, there are a few class disadvantaged champions that really work well with buffed up and the rich get richer, like Old Man Logan and Colossus, 2 great champion options. But when it comes to really smashing his home, Hyperion is always the best. Venom is a slow second, but still very effective. You've got Angela as well. There is lots and lots that get 3 buffs. Heimdall could be rocked into this in order to give that extra buff to then obviously propel yourself forward. And then using the Dexterity Mastery can help a little bit, but I would say that it's got to be those ones mentioned at the start. Now over to the top left hand corner, and there's a lot of fun champions to try about with this. Doctor Doom, a Morning Star, are pretty fun when it comes to this. I would say that one of the best has got to be Hyperion, but also there's some really quirky and weird ones you could try. You could try Bishop, for example. You could even try Terex and Namor. Obviously when you play that champion, it's all about throwing those special attacks, but yeah, that's one of the fun things about that. But this is a very straightforward path, so I think you'll be fine. Over now to the bottom right hand corner, and a really fun path for very much 2 champions. Now, if you want to suppress things, stagger can be a really good asset, and there's loads of champions that throw stagger. Hood, you know, you could even have complete suppression with the likes of Mephisto. You could have this really kind of fun spanking idea with the buffs when it comes to Morningstar. Do a heavy attack, get that power gain buff, build, 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 take a little bit of a step back, smash him with an SP2. Once there's a load of buffs on, lovely jubbly, lots of damage. So there's so many options for this you could have fun with. You could use Magic for this. You could use so many champions. The list goes on. A lot of Mystic champions are going to be very effective, and especially with the way that that lane is set up, is to have Mystics as class advantage, taking on the enemies and then getting to the end boss. And there we go, that has been my top picks for champions that work really well against this content. There will be so many others. Put in the comment section if I missed out any, or you think there will be a good counter for a lot of the stuff that you've experienced in this particular Canadian difficulty day. And as well, hopefully the Guardian fight is sorted out, because it is a nightmare, and if you don't know why, look at yesterday's video and it will explain a bit more on the subject, because it is a little bit scuffy. Either way, thank you very much for checking out this video. Check out some recent content up here, and also some other stuff down here. I don't know if there's going to be a second video today because I'm working on a few other projects. But yeah, thanks very much for watching this, and I'll see you later on. Hopefully I'll get to do a live stream without this game going down and ruining my day, and everyone else's as well. Bye-bye.